joining on the stage for her book launch, it's Louise Fazackerley. Yeah, it's me. Hi. Oh, thank you, the Old Carts, for hosting my book launch. Let me tell you what will be happening. First, we'll have section 1. Section 1 will consist of me at night welcoming you into my home. And then we'll have a break. Then we'll have section 2, where we'll have 2 special guest poets, and then me reading the work from the book I'm launching. Now, what am I launching tonight? Is it this? Council House Poetry? No, but some of the poems from Bird Street are on this album, so you can buy this to listen to the poems, but there's only like 12 of them, not 41. Okay, am I launching this? No, this is the Lolitas. We had the book launch at the Fire Within at Christmas by the Poetry Press. This is a good one. It's quite experimental and a bit scary. Not in a good way, oh, yeah. We're launching this. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your evening. We're gonna, scoot through these video clips. I hope you're having fun at home, and this, stops your boredom, brightens up your evening. On to the next clip. Hey, welcome to my book launch. Good evening. Welcome to my home. Tonight we're doing an intimate book launch. In this first section, I'm going to share with you 5 poems. 5 poems that people have enjoyed when I've been performing all over the country. I've been lucky enough to perform at the Royal Albert Hall, in sold out venues with John Cooper Clarke and on the telly. And I just thought I'd share some videos from the past. And the poems obviously are in the book. As you can tell, this is not scripted. It's more or less live. It's like practically live. Yeah. Okay, so the first poem I'm going to show is like the one I always start my sets with. It's called Angie's Horse. I wrote it after I saw a prompt for poems about horses, and I thought, oh, I'll write one of those poems. Then I realised I didn't really have any horse-based experiences. But then I remembered the first time I rode on a horse, and this was in the middle of an estate on Kit Green. And Ange was one of my friends, and she brought the horse. So this is Angie's Horse.
Estate rats, we run the maze with ease to a triangle of green between the high-rise flats. This girl, she brings this horse from nowhere, this young brown horse to our arena. A sign pauses in its fall, a stuttering tick at 10 to 10 to 10 to 10 to 10 to 10 to 10. It's cowboy time. A sign pauses in its fall, a stuttering tick at 10 to no all games allowed. And it's too hot to stay in sardine packed. The pensioners are fast asleep, the families are out, leaving us, the in-betweens. We line up to take turns, angular boys, streaks of girls, angular boys, streaks of girls. Shut the fuck up, you'll scare the arse! When so much glass has been smashed, the fragments are beautiful. Our alleys and ginnels and cut-throughs are a tarmac sky, waiting for waves of change and a gallop of children, the sea. We rub each other's tide marks, a circumference of cheek. And I have never ever been on an arse. My go goes too quick. And I don't vault A-starred from this carousel, 'cause wooden desks don't work as wings. Instead, I watch perms bounce like pogo sticks until the sweating horse has had enough. A scalene shape left on the grass, because nothing is equilateral here. They don't want us to be winged horses. They want us to be wolves or sheep, easily led, or benefits cheats. But we rise from Benefit Street, where we find constellations to leap. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back. And the next poem I have to share for you is a poem called Daisy Chain Summer. It was one of the first poems I wrote when I was 18, and even now, like 20 years later, I'm still performing it. So if you're just starting writing, there might be something that you're writing now that actually, works for you in the future. It's kind of about me as a young rapscallion and a boyfriend I had called Stu. So I hope you enjoy. Daisy Chain Summer. She loved him, she loved him, she loved him. She loved him not at 14 years old, at 14 years fraught, half sherbet inside, blown alive, blossomed on school fields, parks, battered cars. She slapped roaming hands and wore lacy bras. Jailbait, really. Sugar-coated to his 18 years big. Oh, what big tawny eyes he had! To see in her, little old, little told, little souled her. A woman, a lover, a mother, a wife, his council castle princess, his job seeker's distraction. They sat, talked, picked petals till the daisies of summer were done, and the sun-spelled dandelions turned winter white and wise, old heads on young stems. Predictable, she loved him not, his once upon a next week deadbeat, make some money on a bit of weed. Callum, you smoked all the profits. This Prince Charming wasn't the one. She sighed about what a big girl she'd become. I remember seeing Stu much later after we'd split up and everything, and I remember him saying that he'd been working away DJing, which was actually meant he'd been in prison. So I hope he's well. This next piece is about a woman who lived down my street, and I knew she had some addiction problems. And one day she was knocking on my door, and this is what happened.
Knock, knock, knock. There's a beggar at the door, there's a baghead at the door, there's a fallen angel, there's a woman, there's a whore. Saint Mary of Methadone knocking to come in, child-sized needle thighs, questioning me with lucid eyes. Her. Does anyone keep pigeons on this street? Me. Jesus Christ, why do I always attract the freaks? Her. I found this pigeon, it's struggling to breathe. Me. Pigeons are dirty, they carry disease. There's a rat with wings, there's a rat with wings. There's a fallen angel, there's a struggling thing. No vet for a pigeon, no RSPCA, and God knows who will help this smackhead today. Me. Well, I don't keep pigeons, but she shoves a dying hope in a plastic bag through the crack in the door, through the crack of a chance in my pause for thought. I'm no omnipotent ornithologist. Is it a pigeon or is it a dove? Me, revulsion, her, love. I'll knock on another door, Mrs. Dirty, blonde feathers, fast racing heart, last slack breath. No last rites for a pigeon. A paper sign in Mary's window. House to let. Will accept DSS and pets. Fumigators in and vermin's out. And my house stinks of death and faith and doubt. Thank you.
Hi, it's time for a bit of a change of tone now. When I went touring with John Cooper Clarke, I realised like a bit of a list poem, a poem that lists things, and also a bit of humour does all right for you, done it? So I wrote this poem. You might not recognise me on some of these films because my hair is ever changing. It's gone from long to short to blonde. I've got the old mullet going on here. I'll try and be a cool rock chick in my old age, yeah. As you can see, it does look a little bit like Christmas. Feels a bit like Christmas. We don't know what day it is. We're just eating constantly. We're stuck with our families. So this is a topical poem because it's called My Christmas Was Better Than Your Christmas. And I would encourage you to stick to the end of this film. Thank you. My Christmas poem. My Christmas was better than your Christmas. My Christmas was better than your Christmas because I cooked for 42 people and a dog. My Christmas was better than your Christmas because my chocolate log worked all right. I rolled it up nice and tight. Nigella Lawson been private messaging me on Twitter all the bastard night. My Christmas was better than your Christmas because I cooked for 42 people and a dog, including a refugee I found on the street. My Christmas was better than your Christmas because I cooked for 42 people and a dog and that Syrian refugee and the dog. The dog had only one leg. My Christmas was better than your Christmas because I am humble. That's right, I spent all of my present money, all of my card money. I even maxed out that student credit card I still have despite being in my 30s. And I spent it on charity. That's right, people, I spent it on charity. Because of me this Christmas, goats will no longer have to walk 100 miles for water. And in China, this Christmas, every child will open a tiny packet of crayons and a Nintendo Switch. My Christmas was better than your Christmas because I cooked for 42 people, a refugee and a one-legged dog. And then I heard next door's dog crying with separation anxiety. I, Father Christmas, booted in the door and he invited that dog in too. And when the two dogs met, they began to howl Christmas carols. It was the most beautiful and Christmassy thing I have ever seen. Filmed it, put it on Facebook. In fact, the only thing that almost ruined my Christmas was Deaf Doris next door. That's right, Deaf Doris didn't seem to like to hear the sound of two dogs carolling. I thought she was supposed to be deaf. No wonder nobody visits her at Christmas and her milk is left outside to sour. Thank you. This is the last poem from me for the first section, and then when I come back in the second section, it will all be kind of stuff that you've not really heard as much, and me reading from the book and me kind of performing well, it won't be in my front room. I've mocked up a stage in my house so I'll be performing on that. Much as I like pretending it's Christmas with my fairy lights and launching my book from the front room, please buy it. I am looking forward to getting out into the summer, into festivals. I'm sure like loads of festivals will do like a late August, early September kind of one day, or one festival did email me saying they were going to do that, even though they're having the proper festival next year, they're still going to do like a one night. So I wrote this and my lovely friend Peter Kennedy filmed it. You can find him online, Kexy, Pete Kennedy. And Lee Affan did the music for it at Affan Audio. He's amazing. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the second half.
Kendall calling, fly. Time is reversing, the countdown is on. I'm on it. Let's not get trapped by gravity, 'cause there's only one day like this one. 10, 9, 8, 7, we're festival falling upwards. Kendall calling's calling. And the M6 is a neon airstrip. Swap a ticket for a launch. We fly, we flock, we are free. Lie back, watch skies, breathe. We swoop like magpies. I can't believe I've never heard this band before. 8, 7, 6. Forget offices, we're magicians, unfolding tent sticks like wands. We make nests with little rainbow-faced chicks. Sausage butties for breakfast. Pat your feathers, pat your wellies, pat your short shorts, pat your favourite band's t-shirt. Some girls wear wings, and some hide wings underneath their skin. And everyone, even the shy, socially awkward and self-conscious, will sing, and the dancing will be immense. We will drop it like it's hot, in the rain, past bedtime, in the sun. In fact, I predict a riot. I predict a Kate Tempest. And all the stages, big and small, will rise up, high into the electrical impulses of our brains, and tornado into our memory box of tricks. And we can feel small in a crowd so big we bounce to hits. And we can feel big up close in a tent so small that sweat rains from the drummer. Bring it on. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 2 turns and it's silent disco headphones. 2 turns and it's the two of us on the fairground, sit down next to me. 2 turns and it's 2 kids laughing and running and playing in clouds, and our hearts unwind and the music finds us. Hear the call, hear the call, hear the call. But then there's only one way of festival living, and that's your own. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Only one Kendall calling. Fly.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that blast from the past. Me with no tattoos, some of them, no long fringe, blonde hair, etc. And have a lovely break now. Just do what you want, eat some sausage rolls, vegan sausage rolls if you want, that would be very lovely. And yeah, rock out, see you in a bit.
To donate, visit www.theoldcourts.com/donate. All donations mean the world to us, no matter how small. Donations will be used to help us continue our work in arts and culture, and also to offer support to artists and community groups in this extremely difficult time.
I've been volunteering course for nearly 2 years. Private volunteer, within volunteers, the old course wouldn't exist, and it's important that people want to volunteer so that these things get done what staff wants to attract people volunteers can do and help and support that. We are volunteers for that reason, and that's why it helps. And actually enjoys as well, and it gives me the house, and I'm passionate about the theatre and the arts, and so why not? Well, it's now Marlow, and several members actually have, but Neil's all-time favourite member is actually when we bought the local theatre. We actually went to the auction and I just was sad when we actually got it because I actually was like crying in the auction because the building had been saved, and that was just, I will never forget that day as long as I live. So that's my favourite memory. And I think another memory is having new friends here. That's something, that's a memory what money can't buy. That's another memory I have as well. What local show I would recommend would be mine is Prosperity Star in Hollywood.
Hey, I hope you've had a lovely break. I hope you have mastered the ukulele, made some sourdough bread, maybe learned how to speak Russian. Not me. In my break, I've been mastering a power nap. Yeah, that's about it really. Not been very productive. We shouldn't feel the pressure to be productive. Okay, so we're filming these clips slightly out of order. And then in the next bit, when I come on later on, I make a joke about that. So when it comes on, you're prepared for it and you can laugh. So the start of this next section, I'd like to invite a guest. Her name is CARLA MELLOR, or Toucan CARLA, as she likes to be known. Yeah, it's true. CARLA recently moved to Wigan and she's from Hull. And I first saw CARLA very nervously read her work at an open mic in Wigan, at the Write Out Loud open mic in Wigan, which is run by Ian Whiteley. And then she started coming to one of my writers groups, the Secret Writers Club, and I just think she's a really, really good poet, and I really like her, and I think that she's going to be amazing. So I just thought I'd give her like a bit of a platform to share some of her work with you. So if you want to applaud at home, you can. This is Carla. Welcome to the stage, Carla.
Hiya, my name's CARLA MELLOR. Louise said I'm from Hull. I'm actually from Halifax, and then I lived in Hull for a while, so just all around Yorkshire lass, really. I live in Wigan, and I'm going to do a few poems for you today from my spare room in Wigan. So this one is for my granddad, who really liked karaoke. You were obsessed with karaoke. Shelves of books, handwritten lyrics in your military cursive, a sea of cassettes, all perfectly labelled in alphabetical order. You time-stamped every recording. Testing, 1, 2, 3, every time I came round for tea. In your attic, when my mum used to sleep, you'd tell me, when she was small, like me. Grandchild, one of so many, I lost count. Yeah, he's my cousin. She is too. It never stopped, just grew and grew. Not one of us could fucking sing. All tone deaf, if anything. My sister sang, everything I do it for you. And it were true, 'cause she did. And I was 3 steps to heaven, Viva España, and it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. Daydream believer, and I always sang the word instrumental. And you were, will you still love me tomorrow? And I always did. Followed by, you're always on my mind, and you are. Finished off with top of the world, and I aren't religious, but that's where I like to think of you now. And we laughed when you'd pop round to ours every now and again with a cassette of you singing all your tunes, impeccably labelled Benny 98. And I've got a Walkman, Grandad. I listen to you sometimes, and I forgot you had a lisp. And now when you'd mess up, you'd say, start again, Ben, and it brings a tear to my eye every time, 'cause you're singing my life. 1, red, red wine. 2, greatest love of all. 3, never be anyone else. 4, poetry in motion. Instrumental, instrumental, instrumental. And the next one didn't really have a title, but I've just come up for one. It was called Under the Carpet, and I've never read this one before, so why not let this be the first place to start. So, just lift up the corners of the rug, take that great big brush and sweep it all under the carpet. No need to talk about it. What will the neighbours think? What will they say? Just keep my clothes clean, food in my belly, and we'll all sit around and stare at the telly. There's no need for confrontation or even any conversation. Let's just be like ships that pass in the night. Even in the day, it's fine. It's okay. You'll say, don't forget your PE bag. Have you brushed your teeth? You won't ask how I feel. There's no need for that. It's far too real. We don't do that here in our little northern town, in this end of terrace house, where the carpets are always hoovered and the windows are always clean and there's never any dirt or dust and the bins are always out on time. We don't do that, nah, not here. Here, if we've got nothing to say about the weather or what's for tea, we don't talk about how we feel or offer up our thoughts. We sit awkwardly in silence and just fucking smile and nod. So I'm going to do a poem that I wrote just over a week ago, which I did about how I was feeling about everything going on with coronavirus, and just noticed I started to see sort of a bit of a nicer side to humanity, people pulling together and trying to help one another, and I just kind of wanted to get that down. This has gone out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter with a video made by Northern Heart Films, so I'm kind of sick of the sound of hearing it, but I'll give it a go. So this is called Kingdom United. We are the United Kingdom. Teenage boys filling pensioners' shopping baskets with the last pint of milk and the last bag of pasta. We are notes through neighbours' doors who we've never even spoken to before, offering a helping hand to those who need it the most. We are those 3 letters that set us apart from the rest. The National Health Service, our NHS. Underpaid and understaffed, and yet they keep going and work and graft. And in 2020, heroes don't wear capes, they stack supermarket shelves. They're there day and night, happy to help. They make deliveries in lorries, work in care homes and factories, teach the nation's children, pull ploughs on their tractors. They take your temperature, answer your 111 call. They care for the elderly, the vulnerable, the small. We are those cafes, bars and pubs whose doors have had to close. Those thousands all across the nation whose lives are now on hold. The empty city centre, deserted town square, the restaurant that won't open, the small businesses in despair. We keep calm and carry on and look after one another. So do your bit, stay in tonight, stay home, stay safe and help to save a life. We are the United Kingdom. We are a kingdom united. Thanks.
To donate, visit www.theoldcourts.com/donate. All donations mean the world to us, no matter how small. Donations will be used to help us continue our work in arts and culture, and also to offer support to artists and community groups in this extremely difficult time.
Oh, thank you for that, Carla. Next up, we've got another guest. My next guest is called RORY. I met him at the European Slam Finals in Manchester. So we competed against poets from Paris and poets from Berlin. And I beat Rory in the Manchester Slam. But then when we did the European Slams, he beat me. Anyway, he's another like poet who's on his way up, and I really like him. He's a nice lad and he works really hard and he makes great poems. So here's a little self-film he did in his flat with his partner filming him, which is nice. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to the stage. Drum roll. Oh, it's Rory.
Hi everyone, my name's Rory. I'm a poet from Derby, based in Manchester. I hope everyone's doing well and surviving this social isolation. I'm going to do some poems for you. Thanks to Louise for asking me to do this. Okay. First one's called I Am. I am my father's son. I am my mother's love. I am my sister's charm, scarl. I am continually pirouetting in your silhouette. I am still laughing from when we shared a room. I am still crying from when we were separated. I am Sundays with my nan, sat not need on Our Lady's wooden benches as she sang hymns with her Irish eyes. I am those fields of Athenry. I am the whiskey her father sipped. I am the British bullet that burst her uncle's ribs after he fought for what he thought was his. I am a product of that occupation. I am the ferry that brought them here. I am proof that even though the Republic lives, it is the colonisers who always win, for there is no barley in my accent, when really it should be full to the brim. Yeah, I am my father's son. His estate-made swagger, his cloth-capped stagger, his slight scouse stammer. I am every book he placed on my shelves that taught me how to fall in love. I am my mates and who we were back then. Those pennies we used to make, those pounds we used to save, those bags we used to bake. I am the way we made love through sharing laughter and held our hands through second glances. Take me back if you could, for now. I am the shoes I wore to your funeral. I am the final conversation we never had as we stood beside the nags beneath the clouds that cried, flicking our extra slims into puddles. I am how we never really said goodbye. I am still trying to figure out how all that happens, you know, how time passes, how glass shatters, how life matters. Cheers. Yeah, so that's what I am. It was wrote whilst in Belgium on a project with a contact theatre after having a lovely conversation with a mate called Chris. Shout out to Chris. yeah, this next one is called Ode to Funeral. Yeah. You felt heavy on my shoulder, palms resting beneath the heels of your feet. They stood in ranks dressed in black, beneath a sun that hung hollow like shoeless porches. The church bells started to chime. We stepped forward all in time, my father to my left, my cousin just behind. The whole town seemed to swell with pride. The windows whispered memories of how it was here where you were also baptized. We carry you up the steps. The birds come out from the trees and with their wings hold back the wind like ocean cliffs. The banks hold the river from running free, and even the dew on the grass gets told not to drip. We place you on the plinth. The priest stands, Roman collared like those pints of Guinness you used to sip, sitting in a pub with those beer mats you used to flip. I sit down and feel my mother's shoulder shaking. Your full-time carer, your daughter, your best friend, all rolled into one. No hymns can understand this, though I understand why we sing. Let me lower you down with gentle hands now. As men tighten their jaws and children's bawl without really understanding why, we place flowers to your side, nodding to nobody but ourselves. It is done now, someone whispers, let's go drink and do him proud. Cheers, yeah. Yeah, so that's another one. That's just, yeah, so that's like it's called Ode to Funeral, and it's like a kind of a collection of experiences put into one. Thank you very much for listening and watching. This one's called Dog Like. How are you? I ask. Dog like, he replies, wrapping gasless clipper over flattened knuckles. He doesn't look good. Busted lip, shoulders dipped, hunched in from broken rib. No, he doesn't look good. See, we're old friends from the early days, of way back when days were spent strutting through summers in total 90s, scoring stunners in schoolyard stadiums. Both the town's two best left footers, half a screw loose from being brothers, we looked out for each other. Dog-like, he says again, leaning forward, pint glass grasped, eyes holding a certain mist. Once upon, he was Don of War, kin of Thor, steel-jawed, fighting was what this town loved him for. I've been breaking the law, he tells me. After we're 3 pints in, shredded skin, time apart, thrown aside, back to being just me and him. Why? I reply. I couldn't keep on doing what I did, he says. Could you? I realise I have no answer to give. For even though we share the same accent, it's no longer the same class where we sit. My hands labourless, uncalloused from air-conditioned palaces, his missing the pleasure of fingertips, from sandpapered grit, from scrap metal shifts, a class medal sits, pressing into his chest, causing cardiac arrest. This town's a fucking mess, he says. This town's nothing but a pothole now, he says. This town is dragging me down, he says. I need to get out now, he says. Thank you. Okay, so there are all my poems. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed them, and I hope you're all doing well in self-isolation. If you want to hear any of my other stuff, my Twitter is Rory_Aaron1. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, and thank you, Lee, for filming.
To donate, visit www.theoldcourts.com/donate. All donations mean the world to us, no matter how small. Donations will be used to help us continue our work in arts and culture, and also to offer support to artists and community groups in this extremely difficult time.
Welcome back to the second half. What do you mean it's not night time anymore? Time is weird when you're in isolation. Okay, so this is a bit I've been quite excited about, which is sharing some of the poems that people don't often hear or that are new. So I thought I'd start with this one, page 26. It's called Nothing Town, and it's a little bit inspired by John Cooper Clarke's Chicken Town, and it's a little bit inspired by the work of Tony Walsh, who is a poem who did an amazing poem after the horrible disaster in Manchester. And this is the closest I kind of get to a punk poem. It's called Nothing Town. It's a bit of a long one, this, actually, Nothing Town. It's rollers in Primark, cute onesies uptown. Is it Saturday paroles? They're nailing us down. It's nothing but skint, and it's nothing but tight, and it's nothing but nooses in the woods in the night. So we shoot up Sambuca. Remember Diamond White? Ride the Christmas whiskey turkey, 'cause everything's alright. What's your poison, love? We're back to a bathtub gin. We're foaming in Prosecco, and we cannot feel a thing. It's nightclubs in a nothing town. It's nightclubs in a nothing town. And it's nothing but girls, and it's nothing but lads, and it's single mums and weekend dads, and it's nothing but Tinder, and it's nothing but Grinder, and it's slut drops in Bentleys, your mate grinds behind you, and it's nothing but grime, and it's fucking sublime, and it's nothing but workers off call centre time, and it's nothing but 80s and 90s and noughties, fat girls in their teens, bald men in their 40s, and it's nothing but human, and it's nothing but escape. If I took a few stills, we could hang in the Tate, and this is working class culture, baby. Nightclubs in a nothing town, nightclubs in a nothing town. It's 4 a.m, chips and icicle nips. I could have my coat on him. Do you think he's fit? And chili sauce dresses and C-scale hips, and a few pools of sick that we dodge as we skip. And it's nothing but sticky, and it's nothing but tacky, and it's nothing but sharing some backy, and it's nothing but nice, and the homeless on spice. Tender strangers at the ATM at the end of the night. Nightclubs in a nothing town, nightclubs in a nothing town, and it's not making waves in the sink of the Stella. It's the Daily Mail shocker as a kid stabs a fella, and nothing is left, but everything is wrong. But just keep on drinking and forget riot songs, and it's nothing but beak, and it's nothing but bite, and it's nothing fake news and the rise of the right, and it's nothing but light, and it's nothing but love, and it's nothing but pigeons rising as doves, and it's nothing but Tommies, and it's nothing but bait sharks in t-shirts saying, isn't capitalism great? And it's nothing but, and it's nothing but, and it's nothing but lubricating the machine, and it's nothing but, and it's nothing but, and it's nothing but living the conservative dream. Thank you. Kind of thinking you're applauding in your homes, you're probably not. If it was live, you'd be doing this. Okay, next up, because we're kind of reminiscing about going out because we can't go out, this is a poem called After the Playhouse. If you're of a certain age, you might remember a nightclub called the Playhouse, which played loads of indie music, and it was rock and grunge, and it was just cool, and I loved it. And now it's become a Ibiza bar, which I also love. So, you know, best of both worlds. And if you're not from Wigan, you've not been to the Playhouse or Ibiza bar, don't worry. It's a very good nightclub, and I'm sure you've got one in your own town. So this is called After the Playhouse. It's about walking home. 5 a.m. Your friends, feathered, leathered and fine, finally disperse to eat doner meat like worms. In threadbare taxis, off to flock in warm beds, we walk instead. The clocks have spun flap hazardly into the absurd Gargoyle owls become early birds. I, part starling, iridescent-eyed and strip-light pale. Peck, peck, peck in 2 high heels, the syncopated jungle jangle of your keys. We slip through wrought iron gates. A secret garden of empty swings roost on the bandstands, smoking spells and dog ends. I was here, trying to nest in the faraway tree, my ugly bob, my cord dungarees, Vicky misplaced in her virginity, tail feathers bumping in low slung jeans, chewing gum in his hair. And amongst the dregs of shots and alcohol pops, I don't care if Tuesday's black, in this almost magic night come day, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me. That's also a little bit of a reference to my love of The Cure. Feeling a bit of my inner Robert Smith at the moment with my mullet. Up, I crimped it the other night. Got a big slice of grey in. Cool as. Okay, sorry, being an idiot now. You can tell I'm in private, not public. Moving on. I thought I'd do a poem that I wrote about being at Winstanley College. I'm just feeling I'm doing this book launch with a bit of a Wigan theme because I'm launching it from the Old Courts, which is Wigan's Arts Centre. And we didn't have an arts centre. We've got one now after a lot of hard work from the whole Old Courts team. So this one is called, and it's also a bit about my love of contemporary dance. It's called Italian Dance Teacher at a Wigan Sixth Form, which really is like Winstanley College. Italian dance teacher at a Wigan Sixth Form. My accent confounds him, the way I say furry. Furry? Fairy? Fairy? I leap like a boy, unexpectedly thrown into a swimming pool. I land like a dropped paving flag. CARLA, I'm jealous of her, has done lots of disco dancing and has red hair. Pietro, petite, applauds her posture. Holly, I'm jealous of her, has danced in Cheshire. I have climbed trees and fought boys who wrestled us to the ground to shove their fingers down her jeans. We ache to be in his show. I ache to impress him. And there's loads of like dance challenges you can do at the moment, like different dance organisations encouraging you to do a dance and record it. And my kids were teaching me some TikToks. I'm not fast enough for that, for the TikTok. But I do like the other dance challenges. But and not so I don't know. I'm just really happy that I found contemporary dance when I was at college and that and now I get to do lots of self-filming in my garden. Me doing rubbish dance routines and doing some with Wiggly, good, and some with Urban Funk Dance. She's got Kate. Hi, Kate. So what to do now? Oh yeah, I'm going on another poem. So a lot of you at home might be really struggling for money now, because the government no one can get through to Universal Credit. You can't get through to ESA. You aren't going to get any money if you're self-employed until the end of June. Not even everybody's getting it. Anyway, you know this. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be miserable and ruin your Friday night. This is a poem I wrote a long time ago to do with being skint, and both skint in terms of love, like in a relationship, and skint in terms of money. And it was published in a common word anthology called A Sweet Tongue, because it's like food-based anthology. This is called Homemade. There's nothing left in the joint account, and your child wants and wants and wants a Disney princess supermarket cake. I invite a payday loan to the party, 1,383% interest with a cherry on top. The kids stuff and fizz until they pop, while you watch TV. You have 0% interest in her or me. Mrs. Dirty Laundry washed in the street. I hired a man with a van, but we can't lift the cooker between us. Nothing left but crumbs. Thanks. So I hope if you're in isolation with someone horrible that you divorce them. So on that cheerful note, poetry is not cheerful. No, poetry is depressing. I do have some funny stuff. What are we doing for time? 10 minutes in. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to do a funny poem. What have I got now? 76. So this poem is kind of about the revolution, and it's about all the working class people who through education are in top positions and are in power, and you know, we're like a pack. So this is called We Are Dangerous, and it kind of references Clockwork Orange a little tiny bit. Okay, we are dangerous. What's changed? We've never had nothing us. Walking with your head down, gob shut, rabies fear, 'cause there's always some stray dickhead what wants to cuff you. The clever ones who could stand /die in lines like cattle got fake pedigrees. They're making my local plus cocktails, darling. Last year, there was a fire at the Manchester Dogs Home, proper BBC plummy, and the kind readers of the Evening News like clockwork raised 2 million fine English pounds to help. A new home opens in Harpurhey today, hooray! Last year there was fire at Manchester Dogs Home and all the little shit scallies jumped over the wall and saved all the dogs from dying. Horror show, cramped in the cages, the great unwanted.
Shit, sorry.
Take two. Yeah, that always happens, doesn't it, when you do a self-film? Some bugger walks in, you have to give him a dirty look and start again. So where were we up to? I was halfway through the poem that kind of was talking about how people were talking about the Manchester Dogs Home and how they raised all that money, but really we weren't thinking about the young lads who actually jumped over and saved them. So let's go back to where I was from. Yeah. Last year there were a fire at Manchester Dogs Home and all the little shit scallies jumped over the wall and saved all dogs from dying. Horror show, cramped in the cages, the great can you hear that cat? So suppose it feels more alive if I keep it in. I do love my cat in the background. Maybe you didn't even hear the cat. Maybe you think I'm going mad now in my solitary confinement. I'm looking for a ball to talk to. Okay, last time. This does happen in poetry nights, you know. You get hecklers. You get people talking at the back and everyone's going shh, shh. And you're like, shh. Doing a book launch, everybody. Okay, try again. Everything is going to be okay. Social workers, teachers, even doctors, mongrels, your bowels betray you. No, even the clever curs who learn to walk on 2 legs and bag /run, 'cause dogs on the dole has got talent, sniff the air and feel the old fear. Is it heel or heil we hear? Pack, bark, pack, bite, pack. There are more of us now. Like, I think, yeah, there are more of us now. There are more of us now who understand how the world can change and how we can change it, and how things that were supposed to be impossible are not impossible. So I hope you take that forwards with you, that things that were supposed to be impossible are not impossible. So that is the end of my book launch for Bird Street. There are 41 poems. Oh, you can't see them because they're light. Make them look pretty. There are 41 poems and you've heard maybe 10 of them. I'd like to thank RORY and CARLA MELLOR for their lovely guest sets. I hope to see more of them in the future. I'm looking forward to them having their own books. And yeah, all the details will be in the video blurb about how you can buy the book and support me and support artists in Wigan, and how you can like just have good fun reading it, because there's loads of good stuff in there that you've never even heard yet. So thank you so much for sitting through this. I hope that you're having a glass of wine or a cup of tea if you don't drink, and I'll see you all soon in the real lives. I'll give you a kiss. A little kiss for you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.